Hey, how are you? Everyone's okay. So this is day 9 on Concerta. Um, my second day on the higher dose, a higher pre-planned dose of 36 milligrams. Um, so obviously it ain't over yet. I had a really good night's sleep. I had around about 9 hours in total last night. So I was up and at 'em, all good. Had plenty of fluid this morning. As you should anyway, but you absolutely have to when you're taking this stuff. Had something to eat. Again, you have to eat before you take it. And then I took the tablet around about 10 to 6 this morning. And as I noticed yesterday, I started to feel the initial effects within about 30 minutes. And then after around about an hour, same as yesterday, and the same as the 18 milligram dose had been just over the last week. And do remember, I am on what's called the titration period. So this is all about finding what works, testing and adjusting. And but not long before I left for work, I started to feel a bit spaced out. And similar to how I felt when I've taken codeine in the past for sports injuries, bust ribs and the like, and I do not like that feeling. And yeah, so got to work, let them know, just in case. And then what I found was didn't seem quite as focused at work today as I was last week. But I think that might have been because I was more focused on not liking the feeling, the sort of spaced out feeling. Yeah, not a very pleasant few hours. Not bad. I didn't have to go home or anything, but just not very nice. And about 10:30, it started to lift somewhat, and it was probably about 50% of what it had been. And then what it did is it started to waver between the 50% and the 100%, every sort of, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes or so. That lasted until about 11:30, and then it was back down, I know, below 50% of that sort of weird spaced out feeling. Then I just felt really tired, like mentally really tired, not physically tired. And so I kept myself hydrated at work, had lunch, and just carried on. And that tiredness lifted, I don't know, around about 2 o'clock-ish or something like that. Not completely. I was just left a bit tired. That lifted, I don't know, 4:30-ish. I've just finished. It's just gone 6 in the evening, and now I'm just tired, and I can still feel a tiny of that weird feeling. So this is only the second day on the higher dose, and you are warned of possible side effects before you start it and all the rest of it. It's important so that everything can be gauged for me to keep going. So I will be taking another tablet in the morning, and hopefully it won't have the same effect as it did today. Yesterday was fine, but obviously that wasn't a work day, but I certainly didn't feel spaced out at all. People get side effects on these things, particularly in the early days or when they change the dose, or if they change to a different type of medication. So I'll see how it settles down. I have a catch-up appointment on Friday, so every 3 weeks there's going to be a phone call to see how I'm getting on. So I'm keeping a diary. You're advised to do that, so that when you catch up with them, you've got reference points. So a little bit of headaches on and off today, just very briefly. Dry mouth, not so much, because I've kept on top of the hydration. It was just that. Yeah, didn't like that. So we'll wait and see what tomorrow brings. I'm pretty sure I'll get another really good night's sleep, and we'll just keep going. You can't just judge the outcome of medication like this on one day. Up until today, it's all been fantastic, other than that one day last week, which was on me, because I wasn't keeping an eye on my food intake or hydration. So yeah, tomorrow we go again, and hopefully it will not happen. If it does, hopefully it will be much less of an impact. But it's important for people to understand, if you're thinking of going down this route, you've got to try different things. It might be in time that the 18 milligram is the one for me, but we'll wait and see. I was lucky in that with the 18 milligram, I could feel the effects of it within 1 hour, and the positive effects at work the following day, my first day at work on that, were astonishing. There was another thing today, a good thing. So I was called in the office. So there was one of the bosses and the boss above him. And ordinarily it'd have been, oh my God, what have I done? You know, what's this about? I'm in trouble. You know, it's the end of the world. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no worries. Just finish this and I'll be in. And it was simply, I've got a load of leave to book, which I've now booked before the end of the year. If we don't use it, we lose it. And as I say, previously I'd have gone into panic stations about that, certainly before I started Concerta. So that's another positive thing. So there we are. Hopefully tomorrow will be better, and without that codeine-like feeling. There was a reason that I stopped taking codeine and decided to put up with the pain all those years ago with different sports injuries. Right, if you're struggling, you must reach out, and when you're moving forward, it ain't always easy, but if you stop, you ain't going nowhere, are you? So there you are. See you later.